Welcome to the MMA Happy Hour. I am Kyle Anthony, your host. We're here each week. We have interviews, MMA banter, and betting advice. This week, UFC Vegas 72. Excited about it. Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. We're going to be breaking down a couple fights here, but before we do, we have Super Sodiq Yusuff here, number 12 featherweight in the world. Excited to have you on, man. How you doing?
I can't complain, man. It's a gloomy day over here, but it's feeling good. I'm inside, so I can't complain at all.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. So again, before we get into breaking fights down, doing what I love to do, what about what you love to do here, man? We're haven't seen you since October. I believe it was October of last year. Pulled out a first round victory. What's going on, man? Talk to us a little bit about what's going on with you.
Yeah, not long after that fight, I herniated a few discs in my back. So that's what I've been dealing with for so long. I've been up. I actually just came from PT. That's it. Like I literally just walked into the door from PT. It's just been it's a slow journey back, but it's one of those things where the back is tricky. Every time I think things are going well and it's okay, I feel a little pop or something, and then I have to sit out for like another week. So it's all good. It's just slow.
Is there like is there a timetable for you, or you're just right now it's just heal and get better? Is that what we're kind of looking at?
The timetable is being able to get through a camp, right now the type of I can't even like do really real training. I'm kind of like rolling around like little kids and like people like half my size, and the fact that I was able to pop with somebody so small is not looking like I just need to give it the time that it needs.
Well, that's fair. That's fair, man. That's fair. So you are 6-1 in the UFC, kicking some butt, doing your thing. Have a little a little speed bump here going on, but your only loss was against, and I want to bring up losses, but against Arnold Allen, who has been a beast. What did you think of that fight with Allen and Holland? I mean, that was a heck of a fight. And did you have it scored the same way? Because we know how scoring goes, Sodiq. We know how scoring goes.
Yeah, I know. Kevin Holland does look like Max Holloway, so I could see how you made that mistake. But I think he fought Max. No, Max.
That guy. No, what did you think of that?
Max. He's not as funny as Kevin, but the resemblance is there. So that fight, to be honest, it's one of those things where like when you fought somebody, especially if you lost to them, you always want them to keep on winning. So I was definitely rooting for Arnold to win that fight for sure. But Max is a beast, man. And once he gets into his rhythm, it's hard to get him out of there. I feel like the Volkanovski is really the only example we had of somebody that was able to like just break his rhythm and like kept them from the constant onslaught of attacks. And the only other example is Dustin Poirier, who was just durable enough to be able to go bang for bang with him.
True.
So Dustin Poirier is throwing bombs every time he's attacking you. And I saw Arnold was trying to use like the same like similar defense as Dustin usually does, and I know that did give Kevin Holland a hard time. But I feel like anybody that can't stop Max from coming forward, you can't beat him, man. So it is what it is. It was a good fight though. It's not like he got
you had Max winning though, right? You had Max.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. There were some people.
To be honest, I don't understand that. And even the rounds where I did give to Arnold Allen, I thought it could be given to Max. I wouldn't even have been mad at I think one of the judges gave it like 4-1. I wasn't mad at that either.
Yeah. So that definitely was where I was. I was more like the 4-1 range. I mean, I guess there's one you could maybe start to debate and do those things and coin flip, that kind of stuff. But I kind of had it, pretty much the same way as you had. So the other thing is you got a big fight coming up in UFC 290, and what do you think this one, man? I mean, Volkanovski. Maybe before we talk about this one real quick, what was your thoughts on, and did you have Islam or Volkanovski win? I guess another one that people were kind of going crazy.
I had Islam winning.
Me too.
Winning. I know. I understand. Volkanovski put up a great effort. It was like he did a lot better than what I was expecting, especially with the size difference. And but Islam had way too much control time in that fight. And there was a lot of times I feel like people didn't credit Islam for what he was doing striking. Like, I feel like because Islam wobbled him a couple of times. I think one time he dropped him to his knee. It was really fast. It was just a flash, but Islam definitely won that fight. I don't see it for Volkan. Even though I would like for him to win, I was like, oh man, the featherweight pound for pound. Man, that pound for pound stuff is crazy. How do you beat somebody and you don't? You're not hiding them.
They had Pereira moving around. Then they had him above.
It makes no sense at all. The pound for pound thing is rare because these guys can't fight each other. But then you actually had it happen, and then he won. It was like, nope, you're so under. But
the whole publicity during it was, this is for number one, and then he loses, and then they're like, okay, give it to me.
Nah, not today. But to be honest, Volkanovski did great in that fight. And now the fight with Yair, man, I don't see it, man. Volkanovski's. So here's the thing with Yair. Yair is so sporadic, and he's throwing so many random things at you. He could always find something that would just hurt you, but. Are you gonna bet on being able to hurt somebody like Volkanovski, who's so tactical, over who's the better fighter? I think it's smarter to lean towards Volkanovski because he's a better technical fighter.
Yeah, I definitely see it that way too. He's Volkanovski right now. The books have him at a -430, which is a massive.
Now I don't know if it should be that crazy. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think that's a little bit insulting to Yair. It shouldn't be that crazy, but he should be the favorite. But I wouldn't know about no 400. Good God.
Yeah, I think that's like an 81% probability. If I have to pick right now, yes, I mean Volkanovski should be the favorite, but I would lean betting wise.
Money, I would bet on Yair for sure. That's if I was putting my money on, I would definitely bet on Yair because 300 is insane. Yair is very dangerous, and like I said before, his combinations are so sporadic. You don't exactly know what's coming at you, and he could easily put a shin across Volkanovski's head.
Right. Absolutely. So speaking of big main events, we have one this weekend. Ricky Simón -130 against Song Yadong +110. Now, real quickly for me here, this is a spot that, tough fight, and I'm really glad that these two guys got the opportunity to get that main event. I think both these guys are deserving and will be exciting, but they both have their preferred path here, and you got the wrestling side of things. You do have for Simón, you got the power shots there for Song Yadong here, but I think the big advantage here, and obviously we all know, the big advantage is going to be that wrestling, and yes, Song has that, background, and he comes from a great camp that can do some great things with that, but I just think the relentless takedowns of Simón is impressive. If you look, Simón averages 5.5 takedowns every 15 minutes. That is absolutely impressive. And I think he has that gas tank that can really push it and really push forward. He wins 90% of control time that he's in also. So if he can start to get some control time on Song, hold him, get him into deeper water, I think that does help the quick first step, the relentless takedowns. And we've seen some of that vulnerability from Song, where he has been taken down multiple times by guys that are probably a little bit less when it comes to the grappling side of things. But I think the fact that you mix some of that takedown possibility and battling that with maybe an iffy cardio for Song as well too, where you start to go a little bit deeper. This is maybe where it starts to fuel some of these takedowns. And, I definitely think the pace, I think the pushing forward, I think that he's going to continually do what he needs to do and not get into a brawl, because even with Simón, the way that you're looking at Simón, that he can come forward like a brawler, but then he has that quick level change. And I think that will be there for him time and time again.
I hear you, but there's one thing you're missing. Ricky Simón no longer has a mullet, which plays a big part in him being aerodynamic enough to get these takedowns. So I know to be honest,
slow him down.
Yeah, I was surprised he's the favorite, because the mullet plays a big part into being aerodynamic enough to change levels and shoot in. And Song Yadong, I said it before in my last breakdown, these guys, both of them have really good jawlines, but they'll always be fighting for second place because the best jawline in the UFC is Uriah Faber. And do you know who Uriah Faber coaches?
Song? Yeah, you are. That's what they say. There's signs. There's signs everywhere. Listen, I feel like I'm making a pretty compelling argument.
I understand you did your long research and your long spill, but that's a big gaping hole that you're overlooking. But if we see the weigh-ins and Ricky does have his mullet back, I'll happily take it back.
But wait. What about this stat? I'm gonna give you a stat. What about this stat? Song Yadong is 2-2-1 in the UFC when opponents attempt 3 or more takedowns. He's 6-0 when opponents attempt 2 or less takedowns. Listen, there is no doubt Simone's going to probably be shooting every round about 3 or 4.
Who was Ricky's last fight?
Ricky's last fight was wait, did he knock the guy out?
But he had his mullet, right?
He had his mullet.
I don't know what to tell you here. If you want to get people paid, you got to do your research, man. So
that Hey, that's your pick. So Song's your pick. My pick, absolutely. I am taking Ricky Simone minus 130.
Faber, no mullet, best jawline, and don't forget Drew Dober's fighting the week after that, so that's even more incentive for him to win.
That's the jawline main event.
If he doesn't win and Drew Dober wins, Drew Dober's back in second place. So,
all right, there you go. You got Sodiq. He's taking Song. I am taking Ricky Simon. All right, we got the next one here. Next one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the. Actually, no, we're not going to talk about that one. We're going to talk about the. We're not done with that one. We're done. You're right. Don't. Maybe after this. We're going to go at the co-main event. Co-main event is Kyle Borhalo minus 350 against Mikhail Olenjacek plus 250. Now, this is another spot here. Grappler versus striker matchup here. And this is one thing that Kylo is going to be shooting. He's going to be looking for the takedown. Same kind of thing. Now, the one thing that I think worries me the most about this guy was his last fight against Muradov, where Muradov is a striker. He's not a guy that really is known for grappling. And he was winning, not only winning some of these grappling exchanges, but getting these takedowns, getting control time from the top. I could argue, I think many people could argue it was 2-1 Muradov in this spot. There were spots where Kyle was getting sloppy. He was rolling off. I think the guy is ultra talented. I think he's got ability, absolutely, when you're looking at it. But I think the speed and the durability and the power of Mikhail moving forward is going to make this fight a little bit closer each round. And I think this fight has legs. If you're looking at it, Kaio, out of his last 7 wins, 6 went to a decision. I think this is a spot where Kaio wins. He drags this fight out, lays in praise again, gets the victory. If you're looking at it, minus 350 on Kaio to win. Win by points, which he continues to do, is plus 270. I like Kaio plus 270 to get the win. What do you think, Sodiq?
All right, so now I'm going to have to open up another hole that you might have missed. Have you ever been to any of these UFC events in person?
Oh yeah, it was just at the one in Miami.
Yeah, I've been to quite a few. And a couple of times I ran into, he fights at 205 now, but his name is Jan Blachowicz. Do you know who Jan Blachowicz is?
I've heard of him.
All right. How would you think Jan Blachowicz would do against Kyle back at middleweight?
I think Jan would win.
Now, have you ever seen this Michael guy?
Yeah, he's small.
Have you ever seen him and Jan in the same room before?
No.
Wow. I'm about to blow your fucking mind. Because I happen to know.
They're the same people.
Exactly. So if you would pick Jan to beat Kyle, how do you think Michael won't beat Kyle?
You got a point. So now you're all. And how do you think Jan's gonna win?
But the fact that I don't know why Jan is not saying that he's Jan Blachowicz since he fought at 85 before, it's kind of like that. So because of that, I'm gonna pick Kyle too.
All right.
Yeah.
How do you think it's gonna happen? Inside the distance, or is he gonna get by points?
They're probably, to be honest, they're probably gonna suspend him once they see he's fighting under a false name. So probably DQ win by Kyle. Whatever the DQ odds are, bet the house on that.
Just DQ. That's gonna be a big plus number. we may need to get a sprinkle on that, everybody. Now we can talk about Cody Brundage. Now we can talk.
You don't even know how funny it is that you skip Cody Brundage, but leave it like that. We're not talking about Cody Brundage. Just leave it at that. As long as you write that we're purposely not talking about Cody Brundage, leave it like that. You don't even know how funny that was that you skipped it in the first place.
You said he's a big fan of yours. Watching, I said, skip it.
Skip it.
Now, wait. To give a quick. This is for Cody. Let's do this for Cody. Let's do this.
Skip it. You can't. Don't ruin the joke. You made a good joke by accident. So.
Sodiq, this was amazing. I am glad you were able to stop by here, man. Give me your insight on some things, man. And listen, I really hope all things go well. Your injury, heal up, get back in there, kicking the shit out of people. Love seeing it, man. And definitely would love to have you back on at some point. And, we'll talk more UFC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Take care.